Parenting stories. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents they were bad parents to me? I, 19 male, have an autistic brother, 20 male. He's fairly manipulative because he realized pretty quickly that the threat of a meltdown would get him his way every single time. He is considered high-functioning by medical personnel, but he's got my parents convinced he just doesn't understand what he's doing, and they don't ever punish him. Doctors have told them that he understands, and that he knows what he's doing. They think they know better. They also expect me to revolve my entire life around him. I was never able to do anything I wanted because it upset his routine. I wanted to play a sport? Nope, his routine. I wanted to get a job? Nope, his routine. Friends? Yeah, forget about that. I tried not to be resentful, but I am. The problem, my parents are flipping out because I plan to move several states away and in with my grandparents soon to attend school. They keep trying to guilt me into staying because of my brother. I usually just say that I'm sorry that they feel that way, but I'm still going. Well, here's where I might be the a-hole. My mother was going on and on about how the world doesn't revolve around me, and how I was being really selfish, and how I was going to ruin my brother by doing this. How they'd always been the best parents they could be to both of us, and we both got equal attention. I got frustrated, and told her that she was delusional if she thought she or my father were ever good parents to me. They made my life revolve around my brothers. I had nothing of my own, he had to be the center of everything. I said he wasn't the center of the universe, even though she tried to make him it so. I told her that the only people who were selfish were her and my father, because they actively ignored me in favor of babying my brother, who played them like a fiddle to make sure he always got his way. I told her that his routine was not my problem. That it was up to them to make the appropriate adjustments, and asked if she really thought I'd just not live my life because of him. She started crying, and I walked off and shut myself in my room. My father is demanding an apology for what I said, but I'm refusing. My grandpa said he's proud that I stood up for myself, but my parents are still demanding an apology for being an a-hole. I don't think I need to give them one. Am I the a-hole here? Now for the top judgment. Not the a-hole. High five, virtual applause, and standing ovation. I was literally fist-pumping reading what you told your mom. Good for you. There is nothing to apologize for. You told her the truth. Absolutely nothing to apologize for. You're a teenager, you deserve to do teenager things, like play sports or get a job, and especially, hang out with friends. You deserve your own life and to try new things. Congrats for standing up to them, and best of luck for uni. Not the a-hole. Your parents are abusing you. They had this coming. I hope you find a better life and better family out there. Not the a-hole. Any chance you can move now? Agreed. His grandparents are ready and waiting, he should do what he can to move sooner rather than later. He can use the time to settle into his own new life. Not the a-hole. Neither your mom nor your dad wanted to hear the truth. They know you were right and want you to apologize for their mistreatment of you. As you said, they never wanted to listen to anyone who told them other than what they wanted to hear, and that includes your granddad. Do not back down. If either brings up the idea of apology again, ask them when they're going to apologize to you for depriving you of having a life of your own. Do exactly what you did here, detail the myriad ways they have consistently ignored you, to make your manipulative brother happy. Move to be with your grandparents as soon as you can. And when possible, start some counseling/therapy to put dysfunction behind you. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my dad on Facebook over his post about being a single dad? I've, 16 male, lived with my grandparents my whole life. My mom took off when I was a baby and haven't seen her since. So my dad left me with his parents, and they basically raised me. My dad was kind of around, but not really. He'd sometimes come to take me to his house for the night every month, drop me off and be gone again. As a kid, I used to always ask him how come I can't live with him, and his reason was always because he works a lot. When I got older I sorta saw the truth, which is, he likes to live the single lifestyle. He's had like a million girlfriends and that's how I ended up with 4 other half-siblings. But you know they still live with their moms, so we only get to hang out when it's my dad's custody time, because he just leaves them at my grandparents and doesn't hang out with any of us. We're all used to it by now. But what's annoying is, to his girlfriends and friends, he acts like he's a hero for being a single dad. He talks about how hard it is, then brings me up specifically because my mom walked out, so it's like he cares for me full time. I usually don't say anything, but it bothers me. He made a Facebook post the other day. It was an older pic of him with me and my brothers, the one time he took us to a soccer game. 4 years ago. He was talking about sacrifices, but it's worth being a single dad. This made me mad, and I commented, "You haven't even come to the house in like a month." Which is true. Haven't seen him since a few days after Thanksgiving. He deleted his post, and got mad at me for embarrassing him. My dad said I was being disrespectful, and I don't know what it's like to be a single dad providing for us, so I don't get to act that way. He was really mad about it, and after I thought about it for some time, I guess it was petty to embarrass him by calling out his BS. So I wanted to know if it was a-hole-ish for doing it? Not the a-hole. Truth hurts, I guess. A once-a-month parent isn't as comparable to single parents who have their kids full-time. He is only sacrificing one night a month to be with you. Though, a question does pop into mind. Does he provide financial support to your grandparents for expenses? Same goes with your half-siblings? I hope he is being financially supportive. Also, does he celebrate holidays and birthdays with any of the kids? But other than that, one night a month is quite isolating, so you were right in calling him out. Also, his post embarrasses itself since he used an old photo. Guess he doesn't have anything more recent? Nah, he doesn't. My grandpa has his own business, so they never needed money from him. He spends money when he takes me out to eat or buys birthday gifts. I don't know about my half-brothers. Holidays? Not really. But usually he does come by on birthdays. Yeah. So it is not a sacrifice since he is not working to help with expenses. It is when convenient for him. A father of convenience, I guess. As for holidays, I guess he is with his girlfriend at the time. Thanks for answering my inquiries. Either way, he should be called out, and he should be embarrassed. Not the a-hole. Being a father and being a dad are different things. He may have been your father boy, but he wasn't your daddy. Yondu. Not the a-hole. It sounds like both of your parents abandoned you, just one of them sees you occasionally when it's convenient for him. It sounds like he's using OP to impress women. Fatherly instinct is attractive and he knows it, but he didn't actually have it. He's a deadbeat baby daddy that's painting himself as a single father to get laid. Let's read the next story. Why did my mom leave me, 16 mil, if she was just gonna start another family? I just found her on Facebook a few weeks ago, and I'm really mad and hurt. She left when I was 5. And for a year, she would come visit sometimes, but then it became less and less. When I was 7, she was just gone and I didn't know why. Before that, she was always a great mom. Always picked me up from daycare, took me out for ice cream, played with me. My dad always told me it wasn't my fault, and I wasn't a bad son. That she left because she didn't know how to be a good mom to me anymore. I still didn't understand, and I missed her for so many years. Getting older, I thought she had problems and needs to work on herself, so maybe one day she'll learn how to be a mom, then we can try to build something again. But nope, I was wrong. She's married with 2 other sons, one looks maybe 9 or 10ish, and the other is a toddler I think. They all look happy, especially her. I haven't stopped looking at her profile, and looking at all the pics of birthdays, vacations, Christmas, them chilling at home. Pics of her with her sons hugging them. Those hurt the most and I wanted to throw my phone. All this time I've been thinking, okay, maybe she had problems, and maybe it was better she wasn't around if she didn't know how to be a mom. But then it turns out she has known how to be a good mom to her other kids, for years. She could have started seeing me again a long time ago if she wanted to, but she didn't. I feel like I wasn't worth it to come back for, because obviously, she loves her other sons. It makes me feel like maybe she didn't love me then? It sucks and it really hurts. My dad always said it wasn't anything I did, but then, well, Eve. She didn't have a problem having her kids and actually staying in their lives. Why was it me? Edit, probably should have added, my parents weren't together by the time I was born. They were co-parents until she left me with him. Now for the top advice. That's really tough. I don't think you will find the answers you need here. You should talk to someone trained to help you work through these very valid, very real feelings. These are justified questions that you may never get answered, and learning how to cope and move past that is really essential for you. If you don't think your dad will be willing to get you professional help, you should ask a counselor at school or your medical doctor. But please, don't let photos on social media make you think someone else's life is perfect. It isn't healthy. Definitely be proactive in getting help. You are still a child, you can't think anything adults have done are because of you. I'm sorry, sweetie. It is not you. It is her. She's probably ashamed of what she did to you, so she avoids the issue and ignores you. Not to make excuses, because there really isn't one. She should not have abandoned you. I would advise to contact her, or her significant other and ask why. Be prepared for major fallout though. Her significant other probably has no clue you exist. But I'd be one to ask her why. Just know she will give an excuse, and it won't change anything. You, however, did nothing wrong. It is her who messed up and she knows this. She's just not woman enough to admit it and to try and make amends. You go and live your best life. One day, she will be sorry and will try to reach out. She will realize she is the one who lost out. I'm so sorry, this is absolutely not about you at all. Sometimes things happen where someone cannot be a good parent. Maybe she was young and immature. Maybe she had a substance problem she was hiding. It was absolutely not about you at all, it was definitely about her. I worked with homeless folks for several of years, and have heard stories like this from them, as the parent, but also as the child. I met a brilliant young woman who had become hooked to heroin. She was living in a tent and shooting dope. Her children were with her parents because it was safer. She did get clean, but her kids are 15 and 11 now, and it's been hard for them and her to reconnect. The most important takeaway is that, was not you, it was because something was wrong in her life, and you were safer where you were than with her. Maybe she had a problem with anything in her life, maybe as you said, problem or whatever, that she kind of ran away from? And she cut ties because the people of her old life, her son, reminded her of that, or brought back traumatic memories? And now she doesn't know how to get back? Or does not want to, because she is more comfortable that way and just ignores the fact that she should have reconnected? So many possibilities here, but no way that it's OP's fault whatsoever. OP, I really hope you got someone in your life, maybe a counselor, to talk about this. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother I think she made me sick constantly as a child, in front of my children? When I was a child, I was often sick. I rarely had a fever, so my mother would send me to school. I would have horrible diarrhea and headaches, and get sent to the nurse. Then get sent home, because even though I didn't have a fever, I was clearly ill. I'd get in trouble for lying to the school nurse, get grounded, and then a couple weeks later, it would happen again. In middle school, we were taught about food safety in school, and I finally realized that I was consistently being affected by food poisoning. My mother would cook dinner, leave it out all night and put everything away in the morning while packing it for my lunch. This meant my portion also sat in my school bag all day. My parents would forget milk on the counter for hours. Forget perishable groceries in the car for days, but then say, "It's autumn, so it's fine, just toss it in the fridge." Condiments that were to be refrigerated after opening, were just put in the cupboard, etc. By the end of middle school, I had stopped eating food from home, and magically, all of my digestive problems went away, on a diet of early 2000s cafeteria garbage. It didn't seem to bother my parents, but I came to the conclusion that the food was making me. I had tried to talk about it once. I was confronted by my mother, and was told because my brother never had the same problems that I claimed, so obviously, I was trying to hide an eating disorder. It was such a slap in the face that it was the fight that made me move out while still in high school. Yesterday, my kids and I, now 31, were dropping off her groceries and she was heating up some lunch, and offered to share if the kids were hungry. They were super excited because they are small and we had never eaten at grandma's before. I declined, and said we were picking up lunch right after. She kept pushing, saying things like, "Don't spend money when you can get fed for free, let her spoil her grandbabies," etc., and eventually I had to have the conversation again. I tried to be gentle, but I know she does not follow any food safety guidelines, and I know nothing has changed from when I lived here. I said that it is my responsibility to only feed things to my children that I am absolutely sure are safe. It never rose to the level of raised voices, but we still left with her in tears, my children feeling guilty that they hurt grandma's feelings, and my family saying I'm cruel. I might be the a-hole, because she is claiming I ruined the fundamental trust the kids have in their grandma. As a child, my doctor said I was fine, as in I didn't have a food allergy, etc., and so me ruining this trust now, is forcing my personal conspiracies on my children. I am being told that is spite, and I am holding on to too much resentment instead of getting over it. I am not willing to reconsider my personal stance, but I wanted to make sure I am not being cruel or spiteful. This forum helped me last time I was in a morally confusing situation, so I am ready to accept judgment again. Thank you for your time. Now for the top judgment. Not the a-hole. You tested your theory using the scientific method, it sounds. How's your mom with other criticisms? Your job as a mom to your kids is to protect them, even if it makes your mother uncomfortable. You did the right thing. My mother does not really take any criticism actually. If you try and have a conversation with her about something she is doing that needs to be addressed, the conversation will inevitably turn around into something you are doing that inconveniences or snubs her, in an even bigger way than the thing you are trying to address. It makes her very difficult to talk to about things, if next to impossible. So generally, I keep our conversations superficial and short. Not the a-hole at all. OP, please keep your children away from your mother's disgusting and unsanitary food practices. You weren't diagnosed at the doctor, because they were testing for allergies. There is no way to test for food poisoning unless you are testing the food. It is basically common knowledge, that they teach in school, not a conspiracy, that the way your mother treats and stores food is unsafe, and can cause people serious illness. Some people are more susceptible than it to others, but it is dangerous for anyone. You're not overreacting. Please don't let your children be exposed to the same thing that you were as a child. No child should have to go through that, especially with gaslighting from their mother. OP, you didn't ruin a fundamental trust the kids have in their grandma. She did, by trying to feed them food that would make them sick. You're in the clear, please don't feel guilty. Keep protecting your children, so that they don't go through the same thing that you did. Not the a-hole. Food poisoning can kill people, and the young, elderly, and infirmed are the higher risk. Your mother's food safety habits are atrocious. I can only imagine what Gordon Ramsay would have to say to her. I have a couple of pieces of bread, if you need them for a Ramsay special. Okay, but no joke, kitchen nightmares came out the year I moved out. I remember sitting on a pile of blankets, eating a cup noodle on the floor of my empty studio, and binging the show on my school laptop, and just reminding myself I wasn't insane. So please know that this comment was really important to me. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.